The greatest danger in life isn't failure. It's standing still. Doing the same thing over and over, expecting different results while time slips away. Every day you stay stagnant is a day lost forever. We lie to ourselves, believing that someday everything will fall into place, that the perfect opportunity will arrive when we're ready. But here's the truth, life doesn't wait. Success, discipline, and self-improvement aren't accidents. They're the result of small decisions you make every single day. Surround yourself with winners or keep getting stuck. The people around you shape your life more than you realize. If you're surrounded by excuses and mediocrity, you'll become just like them. But if you surround yourself with those who are hungry for growth, you'll have no choice but to move forward with them. Your environment is your mirror. Think carefully about who you're allowing into your life. Focus on your own journey, not someone else's. Comparison weakens you, distracts you, and pulls you away from your true purpose. It's not about being better than someone else. It's about being better than you were yesterday. Every action you take, every decision you postpone, shapes the person you're becoming. The key question is, are you still waiting for life to push you, or will you take control? If you don't change your habits, your mindset, and your relationships, a year from now you'll be in exactly the same place. It's what you do, not what you say. This video isn't just to motivate you, it's to remind you that the time to act is now. We're going to explore 10 Stoic principles that will transform how you see effort, discipline, and self-improvement. Because at the end of the day, the only question that matters is, will you waste another day, or will you start moving today? Number 1. Your environment determines your success. If you place a fish in a small tank, it will never grow beyond what that space allows. But if you place it in the open ocean, it will expand to its full potential. The same thing happens with you. No matter how much potential you have, if you surround yourself with people who hold you back or habits that keep you stuck, success becomes impossible. Success isn't just about talent or effort. It's about environment. Place an ambitious person among mediocre people, and sooner or later, their fire will die out. But place an average person among winners, and their mindset will transform. Your thoughts aren't formed in isolation. They're shaped by what you consume, the conversations you have, and the places you choose to be. Think carefully about who you spend most of your time with. Are they people who challenge you, inspire you, and push you to grow? Or are they people who complain, criticize, and justify staying stuck? A person who surrounds themselves with toxic people will eventually adopt their habits. Mediocrity is contagious, but so is greatness. If your environment isn't talking about progress, discipline, and growth, you're in the wrong circle. If they're not inspiring you to improve, they're pulling you backward. And before you say you have no choice, stop. You always have a choice. Changing your environment doesn't mean abandoning everyone. It means being strategic, reducing the noise, prioritizing what truly matters. The Stoics didn't wait for the world to change for them. They changed themselves to adapt to the world. Don't cling to friendships that exist only out of habit or fear of letting mediocrity become normal in your life. Do this test. For 1 week, reduce the time you spend with negative people. Avoid empty conversations. Focus on learning, on movement, on action. And notice the difference. You'll be surprised how much your energy changes when you stop feeding what doesn't allow you to grow. A fish that never leaves its tank will never know that an entire ocean is waiting for it. You won't know either if you settle for what you have right now. But the day you dare to leave that limiting environment, you'll discover just how far you can really go. Number 2. Don't wait, act now. Imagine you're standing in front of a closed door. You know what's behind it. The life you want, the changes you crave. The version of yourself you've always dreamed of becoming. But instead of opening it, you just stand there waiting. Waiting for the perfect moment, the perfect motivation, the right sign. How much longer are you going to wait? Most people live trapped in this state. They convince themselves they need more preparation, more confidence, more certainty before taking the first step. But Stoicism is clear: the only certainty you have is the present moment. Marcus Aurelius said it directly: waste no more time arguing what a good person should be. Just be one. Don't wait, act. The problem is we've been taught to think that action must follow motivation. But the truth is different. Motivation is the consequence of action, not the cause. It's like fire. It doesn't arise from nothing. It needs friction, it needs movement. Don't wait for inspiration to start. Start, and inspiration will come later. Think about all the times you've postponed something because of fear, doubt, or uncertainty. How much time have you lost? How many opportunities have you missed? How many times have you promised yourself that tomorrow would be different? And here you are, with the same plans, the same goals, the same unfulfilled life continuing. The difference between those who achieve something and those who only dream about it is action. Not talent, not luck, not intelligence. It's simply doing what others don't dare to do. Stop waiting for the perfect moment. It doesn't exist. The only guarantee you have is this moment. The question is, what are you going to do with it? If you want to improve your body, start today. If you want to learn something new, dedicate 10 minutes to it right now. If you want to change your life, make the decision right now. Small actions create big changes. But if you keep waiting, nothing will change. Stoicism isn't a philosophy of contemplation. It's a philosophy of action. It's not about overthinking but about doing what's right. Not waiting for opportunities but creating them. Not wondering what will happen if you take a risk, but taking the risk and finding out for yourself. So stop waiting, stop dreaming. Open the door. Take the first step. Because if you wait for everything to be perfect, you'll stay in place your entire life. Number 3. Surround yourself with winners or keep getting stuck. If you surround yourself with losers, you'll become one of them. It's inevitable. Your environment determines your future more than you think. You can have talent, ambition, and discipline, but if you're surrounded by mediocrity, sooner or later they'll drag you down. Mediocrity is contagious. A weak mindset spreads. The problem is many prefer to stay in comfortable circles. Lifelong friends, toxic relatives, people without vision. Why? Because it's easier to fit in than to stand out. It's easier to continue the same empty conversations than to risk seeking something better. But ask yourself, how many opportunities have you missed just because you were surrounded by people without ambition? How many times have you felt you could do more, but your environment held you back? The Stoics were selective about their time and company. They understood you can't feed your mind garbage and expect outstanding results. If you spend time with people who only complain, only criticize, who see only problems and never solutions, your mind will start thinking the same way. No matter how strong you think you are, negativity is poison that slowly seeps in. Now tell me, are you surrounding yourself with people who have been justifying their failures their entire lives? Because if no one in your circle talks about growth, discipline, or goals, then it's not a circle. It's a trap. It's not about abandoning everyone at once, but about being brutally honest with yourself. Look at the 5 people you spend the most time with. Are they pushing you to improve, or are they making you stuck? Do they inspire you to become better, or do they fill you with excuses? If they're not challenging you, if they're not making you grow, if they're not demanding more from you, then you're wasting time with people who will never understand what you're truly capable of controlling. You can't change others, but you can decide who you share your energy with. And here's the most important question: are you staying in the same circle out of convenience or out of fear of being alone? Because if it's out of fear, you need to understand one thing. Being alone for a while is infinitely better than being surrounded by people who hold you back. If you can't find a circle of winners, start building one. Consume content that challenges you. Surround yourself with powerful ideas. Find people who think big. Connect with people who want more from life. Don't wait for your environment to magically change. Do it yourself. Because if you keep surrounding yourself with mediocrity, no matter how smart or strong you are, you'll end up just like them. So choose, keep getting stuck or start moving toward greatness. Number 4. Don't do it perfectly, do it consistently. If you're waiting for the perfect moment to start, you've already lost. If you keep planning, expecting everything to align, you keep losing. Perfection is the biggest lie you've been sold. You don't need to do everything perfectly. You just need to do it again and again until repetition becomes your new reality. People fail not because they lack talent, but because they have too many excuses. They tell themselves, when I have more time, when I'm ready, when I have perfect knowledge. But life doesn't wait. What you do matters. What you postpone becomes a bigger obstacle over time. The Stoics didn't talk about perfection. They talked about discipline. Excellence is not an isolated act, it's a habit. It's not about doing something flawlessly once, but about doing it poorly many times until it becomes natural. Most people never start because they can't bear the discomfort of being beginners. They prefer not to try rather than look awkward. They prefer the illusion of perfection over the reality of progress. Let me tell you something, no matter how badly you do it at first, what matters is that you keep doing it. Want to learn something new? Start today, even if it's just 5 minutes. Want to improve your physical fitness? Move, even if it's just basic exercises. Want to change your life? Take action today, even if it's minimal. The world is full of people who talk about what they'll do someday, but empty of people who actually act. Which side do you want to be on? The difference between those who achieve something and those who remain in mediocrity isn't luck or talent. It's consistency. Those who move forward aren't the smartest or the strongest. They're the ones who keep going when others give up. Stoicism teaches us that control is in our hands. You can't predict the future, but you can make sure that every day you take a step forward. Small progress is 1,000 times better than a big intention that never gets executed. And here's the brutal truth, perfection is an excuse for the weak, for those who prefer to stay in their comfort zone, dreaming about what they'll do someday. But you're not here to be one of them. If you truly want to change, act. Not perfectly, not impressively. Just do it. And do it again and again until you can't imagine your life without that action. Your excuses or your intentions will determine your success. It will be what you do every day, regardless of how imperfect it seems. Number 5. Your worst enemy looks at you every morning. Every time you stand in front of the mirror, they're there. It's not other people stopping you. It's not failure. It's not the world against you. It's the only obstacle between you and the life you want, your own mind sabotaging you with excuses. It tells you that you can't, that you don't have what it takes, that it's too hard. And you believe it. You give power to every doubt, every fear, every limitation you've been carrying for years. But here's the truth, the enemy isn't outside. It's inside. The Stoics taught that the greatest test for any person isn't the external world, but their own mind. Life isn't about conquering others. It's about conquering your own limitations. Until you take control of yourself, you'll fall into the same patterns. You'll keep procrastinating. You'll keep justifying your inaction. You'll keep telling yourself tomorrow, watching days pass without any real action. Look at yourself. How many times have you stopped yourself? How many opportunities have you missed because you thought you weren't enough? How many times have you told yourself the story that it wasn't the right time? That story you keep repeating is the only thing keeping you tied to mediocrity. The Stoics said you can't control what the world throws at you, but you can control how you respond. And how you respond to your own thoughts determines your destiny. You can choose between feeding your fears or feeding your discipline. You can choose between believing your excuses or challenging yourself. Every morning you have 2 choices: continue with the same lies that keep you stuck, or start doing something different. If you keep telling yourself you can't, you never will. If you keep allowing yourself to fail at the basics, waking up early, keeping your promises, keeping your word, how do you expect to win at the big things? It's easy to blame the world, others, circumstances. It's hard to look in the mirror and admit that you're responsible for everything you have and everything you don't have. But that's also liberating. Because if you're the problem, you're also the solution. So next time you look in the mirror, ask yourself this question: will I continue being my worst enemy, or will I become my best ally? The answer is within you. It always has been. Number 6. Dreams are worth nothing if you don't execute them. Everyone dreams. Everyone has ambitions. But here's the difference between those who achieve something and those who spend their whole lives waiting. Some act, others only fantasize. You can have the best plan in the world, the most brilliant idea, the clearest vision. But if you don't execute it, it's worth nothing. Dreams without action are just smoke. They won't change your life. They won't save you from mediocrity. The Stoics didn't believe in waiting. They didn't sit around fantasizing about what could be. They got up and did it. In a disciplined mind, there's no room for fantasy. Want something? Start moving. Want to improve? Do it now. Not on Monday, not next month, never. You'll never have time. You have time now. Most people fail not because they lack intelligence or talent, but because they never start. They remain trapped in someday. They convince themselves they need more preparation, more confidence, more security. But time passes and they stay in place. Look around. There are people with fewer resources than you, fewer opportunities, less knowledge, and yet they succeed. Why? Because they don't wait. They act. They learn along the way. They fall, get up, and continue. Meanwhile, those who keep dreaming stay in place year after year, wondering why their life doesn't change. Be brutally honest with yourself. How many times have you said you'd do something and never did it? How many ideas have you had that you never executed? How many dreams have you buried because of lack of determination? Stoicism teaches us that action is the only thing that belongs to us. You can't control the future, but you can control what you do today. You can't guarantee success, but you can make sure that every day you get closer to it. So stop telling yourself you'll do it tomorrow. Stop planning without executing. Stop fantasizing without lifting a finger. Dreams mean nothing if you don't turn them into reality. When others stayed thinking, you decided. Which side do you want to be on? Will you keep dreaming, or will you start building? Number 7. Nothing changes if you don't take control. If you keep waiting for things to improve on their own, prepare for big disappointment. Nothing changes until you change. Nothing improves until you take control. It's not failure, it's not fate, it's not the universe. Too many people waste their lives blaming circumstances, complaining about how hard everything is, about the world's unfairness. But here's the truth few want to hear: life owes you nothing. No one's coming to save you. The perfect moment won't arrive. No magical sign will appear telling you what to do. If you keep waiting, you're just continuing to waste time. The Stoics didn't believe in chance and excuses. They believed in action, in self-control, in taking full responsibility for what you can truly control. And what you can control is your attitude, your decisions, and what you do every day. Look around. People who've achieved something in life didn't do it thanks to luck. They did it because they decided to stop complaining and start acting. They became masters of their decisions, their time, their mindset. They didn't wait for everything to be easy. They adapted, learned, got stronger. But here's the problem: taking control means admitting that everything you have or don't have is your responsibility. And that's uncomfortable. It's much easier to blame the world, others, circumstances. But that's the lie that only keeps you trapped. Ask yourself, How many times have you postponed something important because you were waiting for things to be different? How many opportunities have you missed because of fear, doubt, or convenience? The answer is unpleasant, but it's necessary. Nothing in this life changes on its own. You won't wake up one day with perfect discipline. You won't suddenly find motivation to do what you should do. You must take control. You must force yourself to act even when you don't feel like it, even when everything seems hard. The Stoics taught that the key to personal power is self-discipline. It's not about controlling everything around you, but about controlling yourself. About stopping depending on external factors. About becoming psychologically strong enough that nothing can stop you. The problem is most people want things to change without them changing. They want results without sacrifice. They want success without effort. They want a better life without discomfort. But it doesn't work that way. If you keep waiting, if you keep acting like the future is guaranteed, don't be surprised when you wake up in the same place 5 years from now. Because what you tolerate today becomes your reality tomorrow. So stop waiting. There are no valid excuses. There are no good enough reasons to keep postponing. If you want something, go get it. Make real decisions. Cut out what doesn't add value. Face what scares you. Put yourself in motion. Because if you don't take control, someone else will. And I'm sure you won't like that. Number 8. It's not what you say, it's what you do. Words mean nothing if they're not accompanied by action. It doesn't matter how much you say you want something. It doesn't matter how many times you talk about your goals, your dreams, what you'll do someday. If you don't act, it's all just air. The world is full of people who say they'll do something but never do it. They fill the air with speeches about their potential, about what they could achieve if they set their mind to it. But here's the brutal truth, you're not what you say you'll do. You're what you do every day. The Stoics didn't believe in empty promises. They believed in action. A true Stoic doesn't talk about what he'll do. He simply does it. Because he knows the only way to prove yourself is through your actions. If you spend more time talking about your plans than executing them, something's wrong. If every year you promise yourself that this time you'll really change, but in the end everything stays the same, the problem isn't lack of opportunities. It's your lack of commitment. How many times have you said you'd start on Monday? How many times have you assured yourself you'd change, that you'd exercise more, read more, work harder, improve? And how many times have you let yourself down? Here's the difference between those who achieve something and those who just dream. The first don't waste time explaining their plans. They just execute them. The second live in the illusion of intention, believing that talking about something is enough to make it real. But it's not. No one becomes strong just by saying they want to train. No one becomes successful just by dreaming about it. No one changes their life just by writing goal lists. The difference is in consistent action. The Stoics taught that self-discipline is the foundation of a well-lived life. It's not about waiting for the perfect moment or needing motivation. It's about doing what needs to be done regardless of circumstances. Your current life is a reflection of what you've done so far, not what you said you'd do. And if you don't like where you are, the only way to change it is to start acting today. Not tomorrow, not next week. Now. If at this moment you feel disappointed, if you haven't achieved what you wanted, stop talking and start moving. Make concrete decisions. Break away from what's stopping you. Start acting in silence and let the results speak for you. Because at the end of the day, your words don't matter. Your actions do. The world won't remember you for what you said you'd do, but for what you actually did. So stop talking so much and start demonstrating who you really are through your actions. Number 9. Don't live to please others, live to grow. If you spend your life trying to please everyone, you'll end up losing yourself. No matter how hard you try to be accepted, there will always be someone who criticizes what you do, who doubts your decisions, who thinks you could have done something differently. And if you give in to that, you'll never do anything truly meaningful. People are never fully satisfied. If you're too ambitious, they'll say you're arrogant. If you're calm, they'll think you're weak. If you strive for improvement, they'll call you obsessed. If you decide not to change, they'll call you conformist. See the problem? No matter what you do, someone will have an opinion. So why do you keep adjusting your dreams and behavior according to others' opinions? Why do you keep postponing your growth just to avoid making someone uncomfortable? Look at those who've achieved great things. None of them lived to fit in. None asked permission to be who they truly were. They didn't stop to wait for others' approval because they understood a simple truth: the only validation that matters is what comes from within. The problem is most people prefer the comfort of acceptance over the discomfort of growth. Because growing means saying no to what doesn't serve you. It means stepping away from what holds you back. It means making decisions that others won't understand. And that's scary. But here's the key question: if you stopped worrying about what others think, what would you do differently? What decisions would you make? Where would you be now if you'd never let fear of judgment stop you? The difference between those who move forward and those who stay behind is simple. The first learn to ignore external noise. They don't need applause to move forward. They don't seek approval. They seek progress. They don't settle for being accepted. They want to be better. If you keep waiting for people to understand your decisions before making them, you'll never do anything important. If you keep looking for everyone to agree with your path, you'll stay exactly where you are now. It's time to change that. It's time to put your growth above others' approval. It's time to stop justifying every decision just so others feel comfortable. You don't need to explain your development to anyone. You don't need to ask permission to improve. You don't need approval from people who don't live your life and don't face your struggles. So drop that burden. Stop pleasing and start growing. Because at the end of the day, the only person who will live with the consequences of your decisions is you. And if you keep living for others, one day you'll wake up and realize you never lived for yourself. Number 10. Focus on your own path, not others. If you constantly look around, you'll stumble. If you constantly compare yourself to others, you'll never be satisfied. If you constantly measure your success by others' lives, you'll live in frustration. Because here's the truth: every person has their own path, their own rhythm, their own battle. And if you focus on what others are doing, you'll lose yourself. There will always be someone who has more. More money, more success, more recognition, more luck. And if you live measuring your progress by others' progress, you'll never feel enough. Look at social media. People only show their best moments, their victories, their achievements. No one shows you the sleepless nights, the failures, the moments of doubt. If you compare your reality to someone else's edited version, you'll always lose. The problem is when you look outward too much, you stop looking inward. You become obsessed with what others have and forget what you truly want. You start doing things not because you want them, but because you want to prove something. You start making decisions based on impressing others rather than what makes you happy. And what happens next? You burn out. You get frustrated. Because another person's path will never be yours. It doesn't matter who started before you. It doesn't matter who seems more advanced. What matters is that you keep moving, that you don't waste time watching what others are doing, and that you focus all your energy on creating your own path. Because here's the truth few understand: real success isn't beating others. It's surpassing yourself. It's becoming better than you were yesterday. It's moving forward even if just a little bit every day. Look at your life. Look at what you've achieved. It doesn't matter if it's small compared to others. What matters is whether you've improved yourself compared to yourself. Stop looking outward. Stop comparing your first chapter to someone else's 20th chapter. Stop thinking you need to follow others' footsteps to get far. Create your own path, at your own pace, in your own way. Because in the end, the only competition that matters is the competition with yourself. Thank you for watching until the end. If you watched everything, write in the comments, "I am a Stoic," as our secret sign so we know you're a true student of Stoicism. Don't forget to subscribe and like if you enjoyed the video. See you in the next video. Remember, keep developing yourself.